So if you got a chance to watch the intro to this restoration, again, just to recap, John Deere 430 utility, 1959. Originally given to me by my father-in-law, who just graciously gave it to me. And back in 2012, I rebuilt the engine. It sat on an engine stand for quite some time. Just never got the project. Project just stalled out. Anyway, not perfect, but there are the 10s. They're all ready to go on, and I'll be posting a video once they're all on. They were pretty beat up, rusted. The grill screens were completely ripped and torn. Anyway, the 3-point, still need to paint the top link, but the 3-point, it was just completely, there was very little paint there. I'll also be posting kind of a slideshow of the entire restoration, and from dirty, gritty, grimy, rusty metal to where we're at right now. Couldn't salvage all the gauges. I did salvage the tack, and the tack was completely rusted out. And the ignition switch and light switch, I managed to save that. You see she's got 1,941 hours. Tack seems to run just fine. Did have to replace the steering wheel. Of course, the seat was completely gone. All the sheet metal on the seat was just bent to no end, and somehow or another, it's not perfect, but I'm amazed I did manage to get that straightened. I had just the shell for the lights, the back, but it had to basically redo all the lights. They were just they were no longer on the tractor. I got them in a box next to the tractor. The battery box was completely rusted away and gone, so I had to get a new aftermarket battery box. I left it 6-volt. Fender, you can see it had at one time it had a set of ARP half tracks on it, and I went ahead and welded up where those brackets sat. They mounted right to the axle there in the back. Went through everything except for the final drives. The final drives, I took the back off, and they looked real good, so I never messed with the final drives. Never replaced the brakes. They both seemed real good. Had to fabricate that small line there for the hydraulics, and of course gaskets and all that. I did pull the rock shaft off. It's been completely rebuilt, all seals and O-rings. There was a booger getting those rock shaft arms off. They were on there. It's kind of a tapered spline shaft, and heat and cussing and everything to get those off. At one point in time, I took the plug you see out on the transmission, and about 2 gallons of water ran out. So I thought, oh boy, here we go. Got a rusted out transmission. Amazingly enough, that was not the case. Needed to be cleaned up. The spline shaft was in good shape, and the cluster gear was in good shape. The shifting forks were in terrible shape, but luckily that's good old American sizes and drill rod and some springs and ball bearings, and that's all back like new. It shifts great now. I mean, it wouldn't even shift into any gear before, but no problem now. New choke cable. Just got through rebuilding the carburetor kit. The carburetor, I put a minor carburetor kit in it, and just wasn't enough. Just this, it needed everything. Lined the tank, put some liner in there. That I think helped a lot. The tank was pretty trashed. New gasculator. Manifold was in good shape. No problems there. I did put a new muffler on it. I could go into a long story on radiator. I did have the old radiator, the original. Guy was able to salvage it and seal it, but unfortunately he put the sides on. He put them on way too high, so it wouldn't mount in here. And I went back to him, asked him if he could pop those sides back off and correct it. He didn't understand what I needed, I don't think, because despite pictures and a lot of effort, I finally just ended up giving up and going with a repop. So anyway, I do have a pressure tested original radiator, cheap if somebody wants it, but they would have to pop the sides off and have those put back on, which is not that difficult, you know. Like I say, did the lights. You've got that steering shaft. It's got the two pawls on it that rides in the worm gear in here. I re-shimmed the worm gear and put those pawls in there. Tightened up the steering quite a bit. Went through the power steering, the diverter valve there. I completely rebuilt, all new O-rings, and just polished it up. It's in good shape, just dirty. And tried to tighten up the knuckles as much as possible. Still a little bit of play, but compared to the 6 inches back and forth it did have, it's not too bad. Anyway, stepping around. Rebuilt this power steering pump, rebuilt the generator. These components over here, the hydraulic pump, all of this, and I think it was power steering fluid. It was just dumping fluid out all over these. And so we had like a 1/4 inch of caked dirt, grime, petroleum, and dirt, and it was just on there, just hard as a rock. So cleaning these parts up was a real task, but we got it done. You know, perseverance, parts cleaner, more perseverance, and we got it done. Put an electronic ignition, new distributor cap, new coil. Probably didn't need a new coil, but I did it anyway. Of course, a new oil filter. Put an entirely new wiring harness and a new tack cable in it. The cables, obviously, they're brand new. You can see what the other side of the battery box looks like. And there's a matching side on the other side, obviously. Knob was broke off. I had to weld the knob back on the hydraulic mechanism. And the fenders were all completely dented in, mostly at the back. I just got some auto body hammers and some dollies and just beat it back into submission. And they're not perfect, but they look fairly good. I just mounted those on yesterday. So as I said, we're just wrapping this up, getting ready to fire it up. This is just a walk around. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned. Plan on putting a video on of it firing up, and then we'll button the tins up around it and take her for a ride. We may have a hay rack ride after all around here this winter. No, I doubt it. But anyway, by the way, that Cub, it's not mine, belongs to a neighbor of mine. My airplane, which is not as old, but it's Bonanza down in Walla Walla, Washington this winter, just because not much use for Bonanza in Alaska in the winter. But this is a same year, 1959 Cub. So anyway, can't underestimate age, especially with people. So anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.